This belongs to me until the end of the month. You had no right to do that. What, are you out of your mind? You had no right to do it.
Sometimes things can get violent in Judge Judy's courtroom, but these moments take it to a whole new level. In this case, we can see two individuals, Mr. Harvey and Mr. Ford, who are disputing an incident where Mr. Harvey shot at a dog belonging to Mr. Ford and ended up hitting and damaging his neighbor's garage door. The case goes in front of Judge Judy, who is determined to solve this case in the best way possible. She starts by asking Mr. Harvey questions about his weapon, to which he responds that he doesn't own a license to carry the weapon outside his home, as this was the first time he pulled it out of his safe.
A gun in your house?
In my house, correct.
What kind of gun do you keep?
That's a
in your house?
.22 caliber, ma'am.
What does that look like?
A 25 little, like, Dillinger weapon.
Okay. And where do you keep it?
I've actually been keeping it in my safe for like the last 10 years, Your Honor, because I have kids. Until we actually moved into this house, is last 10 years the first time I have pulled my weapon out my safe.
Judge Judy proceeds with her questions so she can understand what happened better, and now she turns to Mr. Ford. Mr. Ford has stated that he has 3 dogs, pit bull terrier mixes, and has had the adult male for about 13 months. At the time of the incident, the adult female was about 10 months old and had 9 puppies. He also states that he rented the house where he lived at the moment, which would be an important detail in solving this case.
Mr. Ford, you have dogs.
Yes, ma'am.
How many dogs?
3.
What kind of dogs?
They're pit bull terrier mixes.
How long have you had them?
I've had the adult male for about 13 months. She was about 10 months old at the time of the incident. And I have 2 puppies. They're like about 4 months old now. But she had 9 puppies when he first moved in.
And do you rent or own your home?
Rent.
The case is being heard by Judge Judy. She had asked both Mr. Harvey and Mr. Ford to recount the events of May 4th and provide their perspectives on the situation. Mr. Ford claims that the dogs were all on his property at the time of the incident and that Mr. Harvey shot at the dogs while it was on his property. He also states that because of Mr. Harvey's complaints, he was evicted from his home.
May 4th, 2012.
Yes, Your Honor.
You say that you were outside of your house and Mr. Ford's dog came charging out at you. You shot at the dog.
Yes, Your Honor.
And hit your neighbor's garage door.
Correct.
You were forced to pay your neighbor for the damage to his garage door that you caused.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you believe that Mr. Ford should pay you back for having to pay your neighbor for their garage door because it was because of his dog that you were forced to get your gun.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Ford says that the dog was on his property, and if you went and shot at the dog, that's your problem. And he's got a counterclaim because he says that because of your complaints, he was evicted from his house, right?
Correct.
Mr. Harvey has explained that he was proceeding to his garage when he saw the dog charging at him. He hit the garage door opener and went to go under the garage door to come outside, but the door wasn't fully open yet. He claims that he normally checks for the dogs before coming outside because they had similar problems with the dogs before, but on this occasion he did not because he was in a hurry. He stated that when he saw Mr. Ford's dog coming at him, he pulled the gun out of his pocket and shot in self-defense, but he missed and hit the neighbor's garage. However, this is where the case gets tricky.
11 o'clock in the morning, I was proceeding out to my garage. When you come out my garage, you got the opener up on the wall. So when I hit the opener, by the time I got to the garage, it wasn't all the way up. So when I went to put my head up under the garage door to come out, and I normally look out there for the dogs because we don't have previous incident with Mr. Ford over there. He already have 2 tickets prior to this incident here happening with his dogs harassing us. So by the time I look up, get to my vehicle, I see this pit coming down my driveway, not his driveway. The dog was on my property. So like I said, it was a little 25 by the time I actually can get in my pocket and pull out the weapon. Everything happened so fast.
Judge Judy gets suspicious as to why Mr. Harvey was carrying his gun in his pocket at the moment of the incident, as the gun was supposedly in the safe in his house. So she continues to ask more questions about why the gun was out of the house.
Now we're in a little bit of a problem here, sir, because when you came out of your garage, your .22 was supposed to be in the safe. What was it doing in your pocket?
Okay, I can explain that, Your Honor. If we back up from the first day me and my wife actually moved in this property, one of my movers was attacked by Mr. Ford's dogs. Animal control came out, cited him.
Mr. Harvey, I want to know if you are required to have a carry permit for your gun, and you don't have a carry permit, what were you doing carrying your gun?
Because, ma'am, I feel threatened for my safety and my wife's safety. We have been attacked 3 times.
Mr. Harvey tries to save himself from the situation and explains that he was only carrying the gun due to safety reasons to protect his family because there were similar incidents that happened before. Judge Judy can't just let this slide and reminds Mr. Harvey that if he carried the gun outside of his house without a license for it, that is breaking the law. However, Mr. Harvey insists that he had no other intentions other than to protect his family and that he was not planning to leave the house. He was just going to his truck and back in the house, so technically he was still on his property, not out of it.
You're breaking the law where you are by carrying the weapon. And I want you to understand that, because what you're doing is actually acknowledging that you were carrying that weapon outside of your house because you
Right,
intended
on
to
my
leave.
property, ma'am, not off my property.
Well, what were you doing opening the garage door?
I was heading to my truck to
Right. Well, then how was the weapon supposed to get back into the house if you were in your truck?
No, I'm just going to get my cigarettes out of my truck.
As the case unfolded, Mr. Ford's story didn't seem to add up as it changed from what his initial story was. He now stated that when he opened the garage door, his dog that was supposed to be in a cage now wasn't and stormed out of the garage right into Mr. Harvey's property. And this is when the incident happened. Now it makes more sense for Judge Judy so she can solve this case the right way.
My dog is usually in a cage. However, I guess she finds some kind of way to wriggle out of her cage, but she was in the garage. When I opened the garage, she trotted out. She thought it was playtime. She trotted out. She trotted over to Mr. Harvey's yard. She was at his mailbox. At this point in time, he came out of his house, out of his front door, already saying, "Man, get your dog, man." And I was like, all right.
That's a lie, Your Honor.
This case involves a man who owns the house and is alleging that their former tenant caused significant damage to the property and created numerous problems that resulted in the police being called. According to the owner, the tenant allowed a trailer to be parked on the property, causing the house to become cluttered and dirty. The owner also claims that there were instances of domestic violence leading to confrontations. As a result, the owner decided to move forward with the process of evicting the tenant and provided police reports and other documentation as evidence in the case.
You say you were notified, and you must have reports to show me, that there was stuff going on in the house that caused your neighbors to call the police, and the police came. There was domestic violence. When you finally heard about it, you went and you found that the whole property looked like a trash house. She had vehicles parked in the front. She had a trailer in the back, in the backyard where some other people were living.
The tenant, however, denies these allegations and claims that they did not cause any damage to the property. They assert that the trailer in question was not theirs and was instead related to the owner's business partner, Gary. Judge Judy makes it clear that she finds a lot about this case suspicious and she would not stop until she gets to the end of it.
It was something to do with him and the people that were back there.
Who?
Gary.
You mean he had tenants living back there in a trailer?
He told them people they could put the trailer back there.
That's a lie,
Just-
Your Honor.
Hey, listen, I find a lot about you suspect. Just from the foot to foot, I find a lot about you suspect. Did you move the trailer back there?
I did not know.
Do you know who did?
I know who put the trailer back there, yes.
Who did?
Renee and Tyler.
Judge Judy wants to hear the real reason why the tenant was evicted from the house. She asks for evidence. The plaintiff, which was the owner of the house, supports his case with presenting evidence from police reports to Judge Judy.
And I'd like to see the paperwork indicating why and the
That
documentation
was
to support.
September 12th, 2016.
Okay, tell me why.
Why? I got a call from officer of the Brooklyn Park Police Department.
I'd like to see the report.
Okay. Here's the eviction notice,
No. First, I want to see the
All right.
police report.
police reports.
And
These
then?
are for abatements, and these are from the Brooklyn Park Police.
Okay, good.
The defendant explains the moment of the incident where police were involved, saying that she had an argument with her boyfriend at the time and she wanted him out of the house. As he didn't want to leave willingly, she and her friend, who were also at the house at the moment, were forced to call the police so they can get the boyfriend out of the house.
Who's Kathleen Marie?
It's my friend.
And Pixley was your boyfriend?
Yes,
And you had an argument with him on July 19th?
I did.
And you wanted him out of the house?
Right.
So you told your friend who was staying with you to call the police and get him
She
out of...
wasn't staying with me, she was there. I was at the cemetery.
No, I understand, but she had been there for a couple of days, according to the police report.
She'd spent the night. Yes,
And you told her to call the police to have them get him out of there.
yes.
Okay.
It is clear that this was a problematic case as Judge Judy reveals that the woman's boyfriend was off his meds at the moment, which is what probably caused the incident. However, this was not the only time an incident has happened at that house because of the family. The defendant's daughter, who had drug problems, was also staying at the house at one point and had arguments with her boyfriend as well that were causing problems for the neighbors.
He was off his meds, is that
Right.
correct? And he did some damage inside the house.
No, he spit on the floor. Mm-hmm. He didn't break anything.
According to the police report, he
I'm not talking to you yet. And your daughter had gotten into a verbal argument with the same boyfriend back in May?
No, that was her boyfriend.
Oh, that's a different person.
Right.
Your daughter has a drug problem?
Yes, she does.
Boyfriend too?
No.
He does not?
No, he does not. He's clean and sober.
As Judge Judy stated from the police report's evidence, the police had been called multiple times due to arguments that happened in the house, whether it was the defendant and her boyfriend or the
Same
daughter
person.
and her boyfriend.
Right.
She also called the police on the 19th?
That's the same
Same
day.
day. Then again on July 23rd?
I believe that was Julie had called the police that day. Mm-hmm. And that was about Mariah's boyfriend.
As this case was coming to an end, Judge Judy seems to understand the reason why the owner of the house made the decision to evict his tenant. She clearly pointed out that she would have made the exact same decision if she was in his place.
So based on these reports, you moved to evict her?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. I would too.
Anybody would.
You don't have to help me. I would too.
In this case, we can see a dispute between two individuals, Lisa Palmer and Ms. Schlesinger, over a rental property. Lisa Palmer claims that Ms. Schlesinger broke into her house and caused damage, while Ms. Schlesinger denies the allegations. There is a video presented evidence that we can see the owner violently kicking the door of the room where the tenant was in. The tenant also states that she was being threatened to leave the house or she would find all of her things outside on the street.
The day that Lisa Palmer said that if I was not out by the end of the day, that all of my things would be on the street. She said that... Oh, it got you on video.
It's my house.
That's fine.
So?
The officers can arrest you for this.
So I can do what I want to do. It's my house.
You don't own this house.
It's my house.
Oh.
Jason already owns it here. Because Jason's doing it for you.
Hey, can you tell the neighbor to call the owner of the house?
Ms. Schlesinger denies all the allegations, even though there is literally video evidence showing what happened. Judge Judy is clearly upset and doesn't want to tolerate this violent behavior. The defendant of Ms. Schlesinger is that she was not arrested, therefore she claims that she is not at fault
Play
for
it
this
again,
incident.
please. Kicked in the door with an attitude that was crazy. Then what you're telling me is you calmed down. Sorry, Mr. Schlesinger.
That's not what happened.
Sorry,
After-
Mr. Schlesinger.
No, that's not.
She
Why
didn't do
why
this
didn't
to
I go to
herself.
jail?
Here is the
The
call
police
for
came out.
service. Here's
The
the call
police
for
came
service
out
when the
and
police
did
came.
not. The police came out and did not arrest me. I would
They were
have been taken to
borderline.
jail.
They almost
I
did.
would have been taken.
They
no.
almost did.
They
You can
did,
ask
because
my witness who
Tiffany
was
hit me
there.
back. Tiffany-
Miles Paloma was there
Tiffany
during.
hit
I
me
came
back.
here-
It was mutual. She hit me first.
Nothing mutual about.
Shh, just a second.
Judge Judy makes it clear that she holds Ms. Schlesinger responsible for the incident, telling her that she had no right at all to behave that way and to kick the door as the tenant was paying her regular rent and paid rent for that month. Judge Judy asked for the video to be played again, as she wanted to make it clear to everyone that she will not let this violent behavior pass easily.
You kicked in her door for which she had paid rent for the entire
Yes.
month of August. You had no right to kick in her door.
Yes.
On the 27th, or 28th, or 29th of August. Play it again, Sam.
Got you on video.
It's my house.
As upset as Judge Judy got over this case, she said that Ms. Schlesinger will not get a penny from this verdict, and also she will have to pay for any damages she made in the apartment during her violent episode.
Cole.
It's my house.
She doesn't understand that.
Jason
She
already
doesn't
owns
understand
it.
that. She's not getting 1 cent from you, not
you.
a penny. And if
Thank you.
the hole has to be fixed, let her fix it. She's got to learn to control that temper. She had no right. You understand that. It would be like Mr. Schlesinger, if you paid your $2,000 rent on October 1st, on October 28th, Mr. Schlesinger came and busted in through your front door. You said, you can't do that.
Yeah.
I paid my rent through the end of this month. You have no right to bust in the front door of my house. This belongs to me until the end of the month. You had no right to do that. What are you, out of your mind?
The tenant also has presented photo evidence of an injury to her face, claiming that Ms. Schlesinger has done that to her. Judge Judy makes it clear that she doesn't believe Ms. Schlesinger and that she fully supports the tenant, saying that anyone who can get that violent to come kicking through the door can also cause an injury like that.
Why didn't we go to jail? Why didn't I go to jail?
Listen to me, because sometimes police are stupid, and sometimes
If she
they
would have
have
been hurt,
other-
if she would have been severely
I'm
hurt that
spe-
bad, I would
I'm-
have went to jail. So just because I don't have pictures and videos of her jumping in and out the window with the U-Haul truck
I was
does not
jumping in and out of the
necessarily.
window 'cause I was
wasn't
scared.
even home,
She-
Tiffany.
she
I was at
attacked me.
school.
She attacked
You're a
me.
liar.
Just a second.
The final verdict goes in favor of the tenant. She will get all the money she asked for from this case. Judge Judy serves justice again and makes it clear that she will not tolerate any kind of violent behavior in her courtroom, and anyone who does it will have to pay his consequences.
With regard to this, you're going to pay her exactly what she asks for. which is $1,500. Judgment on the counterclaim for $1,500. You got a bad temper. You want to continue to rent to her?
Absolutely.
You do so at your own peril.
Absolutely, he will.
Goodbye.
Absolutely.
This concludes our list of some of the most violent movies on Judge Judy. We hope you enjoyed reliving some of the most intense moments from the show. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to click and watch our next one.